But who inspired you? Who was your inspiration to be in this field?
Many people inspired me, actually. Great leaders such as Mother Teresa, such as Nelson Mandela.
Tell me what is emotional intelligence and how it can help me to be a good leader.
Called Chitaku. I have investigated, the top leaders.
Did you know that the 90% of the people who are high performer in different fields, they have high level of emotional intelligence? These skills improve collaboration skills and building a good relationship with your team up to 20%. So, in today's podcast, we will be going to discuss what is neuroscience, what is emotional intelligence, and with the help of emotional intelligence, you can be a successful entrepreneur in every field. Like if you are running a business of medical science, if you are doing a digital business, if you want to do a physical business, by grabbing this skill, you can be a successful businessman or entrepreneur. In today's podcast, we will be having Dr. Fadil Çitaku. He's a PhD scholar and founder and CEO of Leadership Science Academy, Switzerland. He will tell us what is neuroscience. So, without any further delay, let's dive into the podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Fadil Çitaku, a PhD scholar and founder and CEO of Academy of Leadership and Sciences in Switzerland. Thank you so much for your precious time.
Thank you for inviting. It's a pleasure to be with you and with your audience. Hello, everybody from Zurich, Switzerland.
When I was going through your profile, when I was searching about you, you have done PhD and you are expert of neurosciences, and you have created your own academy for the people to understand what is entrepreneurship. But if you go back when you were a student, when you were young, you are young, young as well today. But who inspired you? Who was your inspiration to be in this field?
Many people inspired me, actually. Great leaders such as Mother Teresa, such as Nelson Mandela. It was Adem Demaci, one Albanian who was as well 28 years in prison, just for actually trying to speak for the freedom of his own nation. But additionally to that, it inspired me, by the way, the danger that it comes from non-leadership leaders. And that time, and still now, unfortunately, the biggest threat for the human being comes exactly from non-competent leaders. So my aim was actually to check, the science, the neuroscience, the newest insights from the modern leadership, from the science of leadership, and to try and develop more competent leaders.
Okay. We have listened emotional intelligence. This word new in the market nowadays, and we have been listening this word. You are an expert of this field. So can you tell me what is emotional intelligence and how it can help me to be a good leader? If I don't have qualities of a good leader, but
Yeah.
after adapting skill, can I be a good leader?
Yeah, absolutely. Emotional intelligence, it's extremely important to become a competent leader. As I was developing, the first leadership model called Chitaku, I have investigated, the top leaders, randomly from Switzerland, Germany, Austria, USA, Canada, and UK, the most developed countries worldwide, actually. And with a very tough methodology, and we have published in British Medical Journal, and now you can see it in ChatGPT, but in Google as well. It is actually the top model worldwide. So I have to admit, so science is science. So it is the top model actually in leadership competencies in medicine and healthcare professions. So I'm proud of that as well. And so actually, by searching for the literature, so I came to the importance to find out the importance of emotional intelligence in leadership. And you, as mentioned, you cannot become a good leader never before having developed one emotional intelligence. And I've been teaching in higher education here in Switzerland in healthcare more than 25 years, actually, the brain physiology and anatomy. And most of the brain has to do actually with emotions. And unfortunately, the whole schools worldwide and programs and curricula, they focus only on this part of rationality, this prefrontal cortex, so-called, which it is very limited. And that's why we have a very big mess worldwide, actually, because we just ignore the emotions. And biologically, if you want to see, actually, so the most of the brain has to do with emotions. And it would be very stupid if we leave them aside. So emotions are part, actually, of leadership. And emotions, they help us to make decisions as well. And as mentioned, you cannot become a good leader unless you have a very developed emotional intelligence. And the good thing is, actually, the emotion intelligence, it will predict actually, and it is one guarantee for your success, about 80 to 90%. So it would be extremely important that we teach actually, from the primary school or even from kindergarten, teach children actually how to develop the emotional intelligence. And when we talk about emotional intelligence, it's nothing else than actually, recognizing yourself, your own emotions, trying to recognize them and to label them. And in each language that I speak, actually, and I teach in 3 languages, so emotions, the vocabulary of the emotions, it's very limited. So unfortunately, we didn't teach our kids, our parents didn't teach us about that either. And it is time that we do start and teach the kids, teach the students, employees, and offer courses for emotional intelligence, which we at the Academy of Leadership Sciences Switzerland, we have many courses online, which we teach worldwide. And indeed, the those participants, they profit a lot. I've been teaching emotional intelligence in higher education, master programs, PhD as well. And really, sometimes people even had, the PhD title and professor. They were working as professors as well in medicine, for example. And they said, you have changed my life because, they have actually they have chosen them in leadership positions without teaching them about leadership competencies, without teaching them emotional intelligence. And he or she could have been a great actually surgeon, let's say, or inner medicine or whatever. But when it comes to lead the people, it's very challenging because almost 8 billion people we have worldwide, 8 billion different kind of brains, and very difficult to understand people. So to summarize that, emotional intelligence is really crucial for leadership, for business, for success in life, and we can teach that. That's a good thing. We can learn that, until we die. In opposite to the EQ, which I mean, this coefficient, excuse me, emotional coefficient, which we got. Sorry, intelligent coefficient. I wanted to say. Because my brain has to do a lot with emotions. In opposite to the intelligent coefficient, which we got from mother and father from genetics, this emotional intelligence can be learned and improved. And it is much more important than actually this intelligent coefficient, which we got from parents,
Really, really well said. And I think understanding the mindset of the other person, adjusting yourself according to the situation, is the most important thing. And learning new cultures. There are a lot of people around the globe. There are a lot of countries. So I think emotional intelligence will going to help to the people who are watching this. I will link my next question with the previous one. Emotional intelligence is interlinked with neurosciences, and if I want to develop a business strategy and I don't know about neuroscience, what is neurosciences, what is emotional intelligence, then can I be a good, successful businessman or entrepreneur, or my strategies will going to work or not?
Well, very good question. Unfortunately, due to the development of technology such as this, as we are talking now, I am in Switzerland, you are based in Pakistan. Uh, so it enables us, to talk to the world, and it's a great thing. Unfortunately, this technology, different kind of scans actually help us to get to know our brain much better. And now we have the newest insights, which Academy of Leadership Sciences Switzerland aims actually to be pioneer in this domain as well. Neuro leadership, for example, neuro business, neuroeconomics, neuro leadership, as I mentioned before, neuromarketing. I've published 2 books actually recently. One is in neuromarketing, one is in neuro leadership and emotional intelligence, which really brings 100% evidence-based insights from the neuroscience. So nowadays we can actually observe, different kind of behaviors and see how the brain actually interacts in different kind of situations. So before they used to say, soft skills, but now they are very hard skills because we can really see, everything what's going on in the brain during different kind of stimuli that we do. So to make it short to your question, now we bring all those insights from the neuroscience. We do simplify that everybody understand. You or the others don't have to be become a medical doctors to understand that. So our aim is at the Academy of Leadership Sciences Switzerland to get those newest insights from the neuroscience, to simplify that, to bring the newest and the most easy actually uh, teaching methods that people can understand and bring to the market. And definitively, as a businesswoman, as a businessman, you definitively will profit out of that because it will actually show you and justify that if you do this, most likely you will succeed because there are a lot of similarities how the brains work, but of course each brain it is different as well, and this uh, diversity we have absolutely to accept, but there are a lot of common things actually in the brain that worldwide work the same. So, yeah, to your question, absolutely very important to learn those new theories. And in my books that I published, you will find all of them actually, everything evidence-based, but as well with practical actually tips that you can straight away apply into the practice that knowledge and this insights, because all theories of leadership are really, I cannot say anything else, a big rubbish. There are thousands, hundred thousands of books, such as the great man theory, absolutely nonsense. Nothing has to do with this modern world now as we are living. Ladies, for example, female are not mentioned at all. It says great man theory. So the time has gone actually. We need now evidence-based if we want to go ahead, and Academy of Leadership Sciences Switzerland that I lead has gathered more than 100 scientists from all over the world, and really great people that they have a great background in theory, but as well practical part as well. And so we offer many courses, starting from short courses, 8 hours, till PhD, and everything can be done online, so which costs are very low actually. And you get one degree from the Academy of Leadership Sciences Switzerland, which in Switzerland is very worldwide known actually for very high and quality education. So people from all over the world, no matter what they do, what kind of background they have, they are more than welcome to study or take some courses at the Academy of Leadership Sciences Switzerland, which exactly as you asked, we have created us aim to fill this gap. That's why it is called Academy of Leadership Sciences Switzerland, because we want actually the science to simplify, and those insights, beside of that we publish ourselves and write and so on, we want to simplify this knowledge and bring to the market, bring to the world that they profit out of that.
I'm very curious to know, and I think You have produced more than 100 people who are neuroscientists, and that is a huge number. And I think new people will connect with you. Uh, from your previous whole conversation, I want to know, I'm very curious to know that what sort of methodologies you used to tell people to make them a neuroscientist, or uh, for better understanding of our audience, can you elaborate some of exercises, said how they can develop this skill?
Skills, yeah. Very good. So we actually want, as mentioned before, all those insights which they read in different kind of papers, let's say scientific papers, or slides that we share with them, or books, or whatever. We always want them actually to reflect on that, and to get insights of that, and to apply into the practice. Because knowledge, if you cannot apply into the practice, it doesn't have a value actually. And we have developed, it's a great question, we have developed so-called metacognition actually methodology, because it will bring, and all professors and faculty that work with us, they really need to use this methodology. So that means actually it brings you in different kind of steps, to reflect. Let's bring one example. So if you see our models, and we have developed many of them, such as mentioned, uh, the first one, leadership competency model Çitaku, which it is at the moment for medicine and healthcare worldwide, on the top, best one. It is, this is reality, this is a science. But we have the second one, uh, leadership competency model Drenica, we have published in 2020, and we have done actually its uh, neuroscientific validation last year, so 2024. There are only 25 competencies there. And let's make one example, because you asked for that. So if I ask the student, read those 25 competencies, and rate yourself, because we have, rating scale there. So where do you think that you actually need to improve, your competencies as a leader? And he or she will do one self-assessment. Then we ask him or her, choose out of those 25, choose only 3 of them which you think it is for the time being are extremely important for you as a leader in your company or whatever. And he or she has to choose that. And sometimes it's pretty difficult to choose, because all of them are very important. But, we want them to choose. And then afterwards we say, okay, out of those 3, choose one which you would want to start right now, actually. Because, you want everything possibly quick to change, and it doesn't go. Brain cannot do that. So then he or she chooses just one out of, which wants to start with that. And then we ask her, we bring her in or him in metacognition, which say, okay, can you explain why you have chosen that? Write down, or why. And when she explains that, it comes one metacognition process in the brain, because she has to justify that. And then, then we ask him or her, what action you will do, concrete, steps, because you will say, yeah, I'm gonna improve that. But if you don't know how you're gonna do that, it's most likely you will not do that. So then he or she will make steps, I'll do this and this and this and that. And then we ask her or him, what are the signs or indicators that tells you that you are on the right track? I mean, just as you want to drive, from Islamabad, let's say, to up there somewhere, doesn't matter, to Lahore, so you don't have to go to the other way, so you need to know which way you go. So and so, because of time, but just that I mean, how this goes. And then of course, she or he has to have indicators if if it's on the right way, and if not, what should be done actually to get in the right way. And then what barriers actually will occur, in doing that, because the life brings us unexpected challenges. Somebody gets ill or whatever from family, and it hurts a lot. All of us, or something in company, happens, and whatever. So really to see potential barriers, which can get on the way, and he or she to have the skills as well, how to overcome those barriers, and then again how to evaluate and see, her success. And so it is one of many other methods, but this is extremely important, because many people got used, unfortunately, due to the old-fashioned education just to learn some things, and reproducing the learning, but we want people to become innovative and really creative and to apply those skills and this knowledge.
You are covering the whole fields, and I think as from science to business, then marketing, you are covering the whole fields, and I think you have a lot of people from different fields. Now I have a surprise rapid fire question for you, which was not a part of discussion, but our audience, for the better understanding to our audience, they want to know, they can understand that teachers, entrepreneurs, they have a very busy schedule, but at the end of the day, they are also human beings. So I have to ask you some of the questions, and you have to answer them very quickly. Tea or coffee?
Coffee, only one in the morning, because it's important. It has caffeine, and it goes with physiology of the brain, of the body, excuse me, brain as well, actually. So it enhances, some neurotransmitters there to concentrate better and so on. But I don't prefer nobody. I know physiology very good of the body and brain. To take caffeine in the afternoon or in the evening, because extremely important it is to sleep well. So in the afternoon I take tea, and possibly then without caffeine.
Bird or night owl?
Morning burn. Yeah, so I go with physiology of the brain. In the morning, exercises, work hard. In the evening, we have to sleep, because all the hormones and neurotransmitters are extremely important, actually, can regulate, let's say, if you sleep well. So night, night lifestyle, let's say something like that, it's absolutely nonsense. Of course, I admire people and appreciate very much who have to work shifts. That is, we need them: medical doctors, nurses, police, and so on. But the night, God brought it, nature, universe, as you want, actually to sleep, possibly, and during the day to work.
Okay. Physical books or ebooks?
Well, actually, I rather prefer now everything electronically, and books which I have written, you can take everything electronically because it goes quick. You don't have to wait 2 months until the postman brings the book and whatever, and it is an ecological part as well. So I try not to use papers at all anymore.
Any hidden talent of yours nobody knows?
Well, I cannot emphasize enough actually how important are exercises, the sports exercises. I've been, doing training karate for decades, not to hurt anybody, but it needs a lot of discipline. And discipline, it is much stronger and much important than the motivation, because motivation always comes up and down. And if you have discipline, so no matter, if you feel like or not, you do that. That is the important thing in those sports arts, martial arts. And a part of that, it's extremely important for the brain. There is no better exercise for brain than sports, no matter what you do.
Okay, very well said. And we have to come back on the track. And now you have interacted with many students. You have many people. They are your student. So, what are the traits you have seen that if this guy have these traits, he will be a successful entrepreneur? What is your take on it as a mentor, as a coach, or as a teacher?
Yeah. Well, it's very important, and really I have always to bring, the background of the science. In our model, that it is worldwide number one in medical education and healthcare, of course, competencies. There are 63 competencies, and they came in 5 domains. It was interesting at the very top domain, it came social responsibility. So that's why I will answer with that, actually. So based on the science, one of the top, at this time as we are talking, it is top worldwide, the most cited actually article worldwide in this domain we are talking about. So social responsibility, you can never become a good leader if you don't have social responsibility. And our mothers, just to say, they were the best leaders we ever met. So respect to all our mothers worldwide, because one mother, unless she's mental ill, she will never drink or eat before feeding the child, never. And this is a very good analogy, actually, and one insight or one advice that I'll give to all of the leaders worldwide and human beings be a social responsible, extremely important. And if you see with neuroscience, it is, you get much more than serotonin and dopamine and so on. If you actually care for somebody, give something or donate something or care about him or her, you will feel much actually happy. You will feel happier than he or she that actually received, that what you gave him or her. So being socially responsible, that means for you as a leader actually making as well one safe environment. And when you make a safe environment, the brain of people will evolve. You don't have to shout at people. When you shout at people, no matter in which stage you are, this amygdala captured the whole brain. So there is no creativity over there. Being socially responsible, that means checking for the safety and safety environment for your employees or for your people, for your students, no matter what you work for, your co-workers, and so on. Very important thing actually. And when people are safe, so they can be very creative, the business will grow, of course, and you as a business man, you will get more money. That is absolutely.
Okay, so that's how, like, these are the traits, these are the qualities. If you have, then I think you can be a good entrepreneur in near future, or you can be a good leader as well. Um, uh, on the other side, I have seen that you have been emphasizing from last many years neuroscience marketing. What is neuroscience marketing? For the better understanding, I'm a layman.
Yeah.
I don't know much
Right.
about the
Yeah.
neurosciences. So, can you elaborate what is neuroscience marketing?
Yes.
And by the help of this brain, we are living in a digital era. In this digital era, everybody wants to do digital marketing. They want to be a social media marketer, but you are emphasizing on neuroscience marketing. What
Yeah.
is neuroscience marketing?
Exactly. Thanks a lot. So we don't have anything against, the traditional marketing or now digital marketing. Absolutely very important, both. But what we mean, by neuromarketing, we have seen the traditional one, it has biases. So if I ask you now, as my customer, let's say, and many other colleagues or whatever, so what is this product? Let's say, I don't know, so this glass, let's say here or something like that. Even if you find it pretty ugly, it could simply be, that you really don't like it at all. So you might want not to embarrass me and say, oh yeah, it is still okay, but it really doesn't bring, much me, So now with the newest technology, so we can see actually, the neuroscientists can see, and it is a bit scary, this, but that's how far we are now, in development. Now we can actually see in different kind of situations, before he or she knows what actually before to her or him consciousness comes, we can see, what the decisions he or she has made. So it shows this, that it is much more actually valid, let's say, than those questionnaires that we used to do and ask how much do you like my product, and so on and so forth. Because depending in stage what he or she is, that who is feeling that form up, so will be influenced as well, and so on. And brain, if you see, the activities of brain, they don't lie us, you will see. And there are many tools nowadays which we can use actually. Some of them are expensive, such as functional computer tomography, but there are some, now small devices which we can really use in each company, and help them and tell them, how is the likelihood that people will like their product or their website, let's say, because you mentioned very good, digital marketing, it's very important. But yeah, so again, actually, it is everything evidence-based, and by applying, those insights and those tools that we have, and multidimensional, many of them. So the likelihood is very, very high that that product or that brand will go farther, or rather not. So it has less, to summarize, less biases which we have in the traditional, surveys, let's say, by asking and so on.
Okay, okay. I am like learned. I have learned a lot of things, new things, and I hope the viewers, the listeners, they are getting a lot of things. Uh, if a layman, we have seen a lot of lay people who were college dropout, Bill Gates, and many other people in our neighboring country. We have seen that they are successful entrepreneurs. They are successful leaders. Does education has any connection with being a good entrepreneur? What is your take on it? As in, you have been working as a teacher, as a professor, so you can tell better.
Well, it needs actually both, indeed, So now, especially by getting to know, the brain, how it works, and this is our domain where we work now, it will ease, the way and things. Maybe it will, save you a couple of years or many years or something like that to come to that, actually target which you wanted to come. Of course, there are smart people, who haven't developed, IQ, let's say, and but it needs this emotional intelligence, and some of them they have developed more, some they have less. So it's really very different, But definitively, education will help, and absolutely, I never doubt or I never regret any second that I invested in learning and teaching others, of course, as well, because the knowledge has to be shared, because knowledge doesn't have a value if I keep it for me or you for yourself. So we really have to spread the knowledge and share the knowledge, to the world, and to go ahead. And the good thing is, the new generation, they will then continue further, because it's very important, this pre-knowledge in from the learning perspective now as well, from neuroscience of learning, so that we see what is the pre-knowledge, and then where we're going to go. So definitely it will help, but it's very important as well, selective. Nowadays we have a lot of offerings worldwide in different kind of media, and it's a good thing, but it is a bit challenging sometimes for the brain to decide. So I always really ask, and suggest all of you to see that the validity of the information. It's very important, because one disadvantage of development of this technology, it is as well, the fake information, or pseudo scientific information. We have to be a little bit aware of that, and I do appreciate everybody who gives one effort and wants people to motivate, and it's a good thing, but he or she should be aware and declare and say, hey, look, to this extent I'm not really sure, because I don't know that, but it worked for me, and so on. So yes, to summarize, I absolutely always, I tell my students and the whole world, nobody so far was harmed from knowledge, and from lack of knowledge, unfortunately, many lives are being lost, as we are talking now, you and me. So you have to spread your knowledge, and many of people, the prophets, and they said in each language, actually, in each religion, excuse me, spread your knowledge. So I know Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam, for example, he said, spread your knowledge, and so we need to spread the knowledge worldwide. Absolutely.
And being a Muslim, I'm very pleased that you quoted Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam hadith Mubarak. And knowledge is the only thing which only wealth. You separate it and you get more because you try to you get an opportunity to interact with new people around the globe. And as you know that we have a time limit, and there was a lot of things that we need to discuss, but uh, before leaving, before taking a leave, any advice to the people, to younger generation, aspiring entrepreneurs? They are confused, they are trying to do something, they are feeling facing failures. What is your advice to them?
Well, really, life brings a lot of challenges, absolutely, and he or she has to have a great passion, and uh, challenges will come. Maybe he or she falls, but get up and carry on. So that thinks that the life, it's easy. It's only a sugar. Even the sugar is It is not healthy, by the way, too much of it. But so life is hard, so we have to accept that. And developing one resiliency, it's extremely important because, the stress, it will come always, and but this makes us even stronger. So we call that resiliency. And and go ahead and do all of those we mentioned. The prophets before, they were, if you see, the Jesus Christ and Muhammad alayhi salam, and all of them, actually they suffered a lot. And many people, they were laughing at them, they were torturing them, and so on and so forth. But you see, those people actually, those prophets, they brought ahead the world. I am a scientist, but with colleagues of mine from USA, from Pakistan, from where was it, from Sudan, we have written a scientific paper, just to see, the actually some leadership, that is written in Quran, and Muhammad alayhi salam that brought, it aligns 100% with the very modern and neuroscientific proven leadership competencies. So this, I bring worldwide as a keynote speaker. Last year I was in 6 of them worldwide, different kind of countries, and we don't have to, to be afraid to get good things from, those people, inspired people, and wrote ahead. And unfortunately, sometimes religions are misused. I'm a scientist. I don't want to go deep in religion, but checking those things, spreading knowledge, extremely important. People who start business, they will, of course, suffer. This is absolutely. But without suffering, the life universe tells us, and those prophets and everybody, so you cannot succeed. So life is hard, business is hard, but at the end of the day, we want to serve the others, and this is a very enjoyable when we know that we will save, serve the others. We will ease the pain of someone. That is extremely important. This social responsibility, and all those great leaders, they had those competencies, which I believe we should admire them and pick on up with this modern knowledge that we have. Can you imagine? They didn't have that time any computers. They didn't even know to write, and had such a great idea to serve the humanity. And now there is no excuse when we have so many possibilities to learn and go ahead. And absolutely, it's it needs a lot of effort. You have to work double as much if you want to become self-employed and employ the others, and the responsibility which you have for employees to pay them at the end of the month and so on. But we grow by wanting to take responsibility. You cannot become a leader if you don't want to take responsibilities, and responsibilities are sometimes very heavy, very hard, but you need to take them.
Taking responsibility is the most important thing, and I think at the end of the day, you should be a good human being first, and after that all these things will be better, and all these things will get better. Thank you so much for your precious time, and I hope all the viewers who has doubt in their mind what is emotional intelligence and how neuroscience work and how it is interlinked with business or entrepreneurship, I have learned a lot, and I hope you have also learned a lot of things. If you like the podcast, then do leave a comment over here, and we will going to meet you in the next podcast. Till then, take care. Bye bye.